Hello, neighbors, and welcome to The Pulse, Lake Wildwood's news and information program. I'm Paul Town, and this is the news for the week starting Friday, March 20. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes in the last week, not only in Lake Wildwood, but in our nation and the world. Let's start with a message from our general manager. Greetings, Lake Wildwood members. I hope that you are all getting through these difficult and challenging times with as little discomfort and inconvenience as possible. There has been a lot of support for the proactive actions taken over the past week, and I would like to express my gratitude for all of the great feedback, advice, and concerns sent our way. I'm a true believer of making the art of listening a key component to making decisions here at Lake Wildwood. One question arose that I felt needed to be formally addressed is the decision as why we are not offering to-go or catering options from the clubhouse. We felt that the staff needed protection also. It did not appear logical to require our staff to work in a confined space to serve the members. With my 40 years in the food and beverage industry and the logistical experience obtained, the one thing major city, state, and federal guidelines do not take into account is the staff contact with each other and the pass of products to the members. The logistics of answering phones, processing orders, supply of takeout paper supplies, kitchen staff, management, servers, and menu product availability based on supply chain interruption seems something that would create more conflicts than it would solve. Another action is in lieu of opening to the public on takeout and catering, we have made the decision to donate our perishable food products to charity. And those in need who in these times cannot get a meal, are homeless, and our sheltered populations need support. And with Dustin's guidance, we will take this opportunity to be good citizens for our community. Many of you have voiced concerns about the staff being paid. The state of California has provided employees the ability to apply for unemployment insurance without a waiting period to compensate for all or partial wages lost. During this time, as you know, the wages from EDD are not fully funded to match dollar for dollar what an employee would make on the clock and earnings tips. The tips are calculated in the payable amount based on what the employee reported to the IRS. To make up the difference, which is a small amount, but valuable to the employee, Lake Wildwood's Board of Directors is providing a stiff stipend to compensate for the adjustment in wages to make our staff whole. There are no other employers that we know of providing such wage benefits to its staff. Lake Wildwood appreciates the staff for all the hard work they do. We want to recognize that they are a most important asset. We hope that this will make Lake Wildwood a premier employer in Nevada County and will also attract top-tier candidates in the future. To facilitate access at the gates for guests and visitors during these times, we have elected to expand the short 3-day call-in passes to a 14-day pass to alleviate some inconvenience for you. Thank you for your cooperation during these difficult times. Please keep the comments, concerns, and questions coming. We value all your input. In board news, there will be a planning meeting of the board on March 24th at 6 in the Cedar Room. As always, please go to lwwa.org for the agenda and board packet. The Community Relations Committee needs a few good men and women to reach out to our real estate community, nonprofit organizations, and our membership to improve our communications. Each one of these programs is important to help bring our community into the 21st century in terms of internal and external promotion. 3 or 4 new members who are interested in supervising and coordinating these activities will assist the association in achieving its goals for this year and the future. Your efforts will be appreciated. Please contact Mike Symetra at 432-3175. The sale of tool, trash, and treasures placards has been put on hold. TT&T is still scheduled to take place on the north side April 25th and 26th, and the south side May 2nd and 3rd. This year, there will also be a giant parking lot sale on April 25th at the Marina Commodore Park parking lot from 8 to 3. Lake Wildwood Census. Why should you turn it in? Lake Wildwood Association is getting a new security system. The project is midway through its implementation process and will be going live with it sometime this spring. We're cleaning up the data that will go into the new system, and we really need your help. Currently, only 2/3 of our members have turned in their census forms. Why is this an issue? When we launch the new system, the old data will be purged, and households that have not completed their census data will not be in the new system. This will lead to delays when you try to enter the community. We are really trying to avoid inconveniencing our membership and have been attempting to communicate the importance of completing the census. It is equally important that both owners and tenants complete the census form. You can access the census online at lwwa.org. With our shelter-in-place orders, this is the perfect time to sit at the computer and fill out your census. The AARP tax aid service has been canceled as of this broadcast. The Department of Treasury and the IRS have not made a determination about extending the tax season deadline. Just an update, I heard on the radio on the ride over here that they have extended it to June 15th. At this time, residents are advised to seek alternative methods to get your 2019 taxes prepared. As we begin the new weed season, staff is preparing to start the new spraying program in the next few weeks. If you'd like to have your property be exempted from spraying, please call Sherry Thauberger at 432-1170 with your property information. She needs your name, address, phone number, and any directions and/or comments you wish to share. Please note, if you select to have your address listed as a no-spray property, you will be responsible for the weed control all the way to the roadway. Today's golf tip comes from PGA Pro Carlos Gilbert.
Hello, I'm Carlos Gilbert, one of the 3 PGA professionals here at Lake Wildwood Golf Club. And today we're going to be talking about balance and how to make a good balanced golf swing. One of the things that you've probably seen if you are a golfer, when you get on the golf course and people swing a club, they always have a tendency to fall backwards, away from their target line. And if you have a good balanced golf swing, you're going to be able to swing and actually face the target and be in balance when you finish. So in golf, we need to make sure that our dynamic balance point is set correctly for each of us. So when you set up in your pre-shot routine, set your left foot out. Don't keep it square. And some of you will be slightly out, some will be more, and some will be really out there. But set that foot out, make your swing, and when you make your swing, if you can swing through in good balance with your right heel up in the air and you're facing the target, now you are in good balance. So that's your tip for today. Make sure you get your dynamic balance point in the correct position and work on that. And if this tip helped you, then just tell them where you got it at Lake Wildwood's Channel 95. Have a great day.
Thanks, Carlos. Right now, we all need a little balance in our life. In other golf news, the golf course is still open as of the time of broadcast. Since golfers generally drive their own carts and can easily avoid close contact with one another in the group, the golf course can be a social connection while socially distancing. Contact concerns would be the flagstaff, which doesn't need to be touched, and the trap rakes, which can be used with your gloved hands. The ball washers have been drained in the short term, so use your own method of golf ball disinfection. Since we are anticipating a reduction in players overall, we are thinking that the golf course aeration can be performed as soon as the soil dries out enough to work effectively. We can close a hole or two for fairway plugging, and you can still get most of your round in. Green aeration will require a complete 2-day shutdown. Again, with the wet conditions, a start date is yet to be determined. Aerification of the tee boxes will start now, if not sooner. The thought is to get the dirty work done early this season so that the overall conditions will be much better through April and early spring when everything is once again right with the world. We'll keep you updated as the process unfolds. In the meantime, if you need to socially distance yourself from the house, come out and play around or walk the paths in the early morning. All club activities has been suspended for the foreseeable future. Our security update comes from our security manager, Pete Newell.
Hello again, Pete Newell, your security manager here at Lake Wildwood. Obviously, the topic of the whole world right now is the coronavirus, and we are not exempt from that. We are mostly in complete operation here at security, but we have instituted a few changes that we think will be helpful. First, we've shut down we have locked the doors of our gates, and we're asking that all business be conducted either through the bug screen or by the phone. Usually the phone is much easier. Our patrol officers are going to be performing all their normal duties in the field, so if you have needs, feel free to call, and we will come out and handle any call for service the way we normally do. Our patrol officer may talk to you on your front porch rather than coming into your living room, and they will certainly keep a polite distance with other contacts. But other than that, we expect to be operating normally for the foreseeable future. As you probably heard, the rest of the association buildings and everything have shut down, and we will be keeping a better eye on them as we move forward. The only real thing of merit this week to talk about in the way of incidents and stuff is that we did have what unfortunately is relatively common in the spring when people start to check their boats again at Meadow Park, and we found that several of them had gasoline stolen from them over the winter sometime. We don't have a good time element for this. It could have been the last couple of weeks, it could have been the last couple of months. We found 3 or 4 boats that had gas caps removed, and we assumed fuel was siphoned from them. We had 3 boats that actually had their fuel lines cut. These were boats that used a separate can or tank type thing with fuel and one of those bulbs that you start the flow with. It appears the thief cut the line at a certain point and then used the bulb to start the flow and emptied the can into whatever their own can was. We did our best to notify the owners of all these boats that we discovered, but a lot of times we were just leaving messages. So if you come back and find that your boat was victimized, rest assured that we are aware of it and that we've taken as many steps as we can to increase patrols. Other than that, it's been raining this week, so we are trying to do enough traffic enforcement to keep the roads safe. So let's remember, obey the speed limit. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Pete. That's the news for this week. I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pulse YouTube channel. For news and information about the goings-on in Nevada County, watch Studio 95's It's Around Town. You can view it on Comcast Channel 95 at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m., or you can watch it on the web via our website. This is a rather scary time for all of us. Remember to follow all the advice from the CDC, wash your hands frequently, avoid large groups, and stay home as much as possible. Until next time, stay healthy and safe.